Okay, we're looking at requirement 4, and we're going to work 4A, and I believe all of 4A is pretty lengthy, more so for me because I had to prepare the spreadsheet, so hopefully it won't take us long to get through it. Division D is considering two possible expansion plans. Plan A would expand a current product line at a cost of $8,600,000, and our expected annual net cash inflows are $1,525,000 with zero residual value at the end of 10 years. So we're expected to get that amount of cash flow for 10 years. And then Plan B, the product cost would be $8 million, and the cash inflows would be $1,100,000 per year for 10 years, which is the estimated useful life of the product line. Estimated residual value for Plan B is $980,000. So at the end of the 10 years, it would still have some residual value, whereas up here at the end of 10 years, this Plan A would have zero residual value. That means what's left over. Division D uses straight line depreciation, meaning that the depreciation will be the same every single year, and requires an annual return of 10%. Compute the payback, the ARR, the NPV, and the profitability index for both plans. So I believe we're doing requirement A. So the first thing that you have to do, if you look in your textbook, you will see, let's see, on page 1468, these computations are being done in one table. It's the second little chart on that page. So first thing that you need to do is figure out how many years it would take to pay back what you invest. So you put the amount invested for Plan A and the amount invested for Plan B. And if you look at hold on just a second, let me get my steps together here. Got all of my work mixed up. Okay. The amount invested for A, if we look in our textbook, the amount invested would be $8,600,000, and then for Plan B, the amount invested would be $8 million. So that is what you would fill in right here: $8,600,000 here and $8 million for Plan B, divided by the annual net cash inflow. So all that number is also given to you. So the annual net cash inflow is $1,525,000. Annual means for a year, and $1,100,000. So you would put those numbers here, and then I've got it set up where actually I don't. You take this amount divided by this amount, and that's going to give you your years. So I'm going to copy that down. So for example, if you put in $8,600,000 here, divided by $1,525,000 here, then you would get this. Now we don't want all those decimals. We want to round here to the tenths place, so you would decrease your decimal size to 5.6 years, and you would do the same thing for Plan B. Okay, and then you have to have that. You have to have the years. You want your years to be less than you want your payback to be less than the useful life, which was 10 years for both of these. So hopefully these will be less than 10. If you look at your decision rule, that's what I just told you on page 1467. You will see that if the payback period is equal to or less than the set amount of time, such as the useful life, you will invest. So here we would invest because it's going to last us 10 years, and we can get it paid back in 5.6 years. Okay, the next part we need to figure out, or we need to calculate, is the total net cash inflows during operating life of the property. How much cash inflow are we going to get? So you're going to put those numbers, the annual net cash inflow, you're going to put those numbers right here. I already filled in the 10, operating for 10 years, and then this will automatically be calculated for you. Now, those annual net cash inflows, they were, I believe, 1,525,000 and 1,100,000. That is on the page. You're given that. All you have to do is put that in. Now, total depreciation. What you have to do here is take the total cost and subtract the residual value. Now, for Plan A, there was no residual value. There will be nothing left over. So the cost is $8,600,000 minus 0. So that would tell you that all of it's going to depreciate, the entire $8,600,000, because this is 0. Now for the second one, you did have some residual value. I believe your cost was $8 million. And I believe you have, at the end of it, you're going to have $980,000 of residual value. So you can see here, this is the amount of total depreciation. Now, I'm going to delete that because I don't want to do all of your work for you, but I am showing you how to calculate that because there are a lot of calculations. Now, we needed all of this so we can figure this out right here. Total net cash inflows during operating life of the property. Now, that is this number up here. So once you get this up here, you can put it in down here. Or I could put equals whatever I get here, and it will automatically bring it down. And equals whatever I put in right here, and that would bring that down. And then the total depreciation for Plan A, that's going to be this number here, and this is going to be this number here. And then total operating income, this is the all your cash you're getting minus your depreciation. That will tell you how much income you're getting. So all that will be calculated for you. Once you plug in, get these up here, this is all going to be completed for you. Divide by the property's operating life in years. These are easy because they're 10 and I went ahead and put them in. So honestly, this is all going to be done for you if you get all this up here right. And if you have a problem with your formula or something, save what you've done and message me and say, hey, look at this, see what I did wrong. If you attach your document, I can do that for you. Then once we get this, now all of this, if you look at Exhibit 26-7 on page 1468, that is kind of what this is, but we're having to do it for two different plans here. But it shows you how to calculate that. Now, the average amount invested, we have to do that so we can figure out, we need to figure this out so we can put it down here. So the average amount invested, I'm going to tell you to calculate this by hand, don't plug in a formula. You take the amount invested plus the residual value and divide by 2. So here there was no residual value. Now for the second one, the amount you invested was $8 million and your residual value is $980,000. So you have to add those two and divide by 2, and that's going to give you Plan B. Now, once you get that, you had to get that because you have to use it in the denominator down here. So you take your average annual operating income and you divide it by your average amount invested. Now, the average operating net income, I'm trying to find where exactly that came from. Okay, yeah, I need to delete that because you need to figure that out. But big hint, it's 665,000, but that is this number up here. Okay, so you're going to get those from above, so that's why we had to do that. So this is building on each other. So this is coming from above, and this is coming from above. Those two numbers, you divide them, and you're going to get a percent, and you want to round that percent to the nearest tenth place. And remember to round it, you can use these little arrows here. Okay, so the last part here, once you get that, I believe we wanted to do calculate the profitability index. And before we can do that, one thing about the profitability index is you need the present value of net cash inflows. Okay, so first of all, the net cash inflows for Plan A was $1,525,000. You're going to put that there. Now, this is an annual inflow, so this is an annuity. It's payments every single year. So I've already looked up on the table the annuity present value factor. So you take your $1,525,000 times it by this, and you will get the answer here. Now I've already entered that formula, so all you have to do is put the $1,525,000 in there. The initial investment was $8,600,000. We invested this. This is an outflow, so that's why it's a negative number. All you have to do is plug in this number here, and all of this is going to be work for you. Down here, same thing. Your present value of annuity is your annual cash inflow, which is $1,100,000. So once you put that in, it'll give you that. But we also have a residual value. Now this is one amount. So it's present value of $1. Okay, this is what we will have left. Right here, we will have left $980,000. We need to know the present value of that. So once you do these, all of this will be calculated. These will be added up, and that will give you the total present value. And then you're going to subtract out your initial investment, and then it will give you the net present value. A lot of this will be calculated for you. Once you get the present value of net cash inflows, these numbers here, once you calculate those, okay, I see it's already done for you. You're going to put those numbers right here. You're going to divide by your initial investment. Remember, your initial investment was given to you. $8,600,000 for A and $8 million for B. And then you're going to get a profitability index. And you need to look at those profitability indexes. That's on page 1482. I know I'm going fast. I don't want to run out of time for this. And present value, if you look before that, if the net present value is positive, you invest. If it's negative, you don't invest. Okay. That's on page 1479. Now, you're looking for the higher profitability index. That is on page 1482. And that is pretty much, I know that was a lot. So if you have any questions about requirement 4A, just message me and I'll be glad to help you.